What's up, everyone? This is Kevin Samuel's limited series. It's really interesting. Let's take a look.
You don't have to be defensive about it.
I'm not being defensive.
You seem kind of defensive, and I'm just saying. I don't ask you. Okay, what percentage of men do you think earn over $1 million a year? Okay. 10% of men in this country earn $100,000 or more. 10%.
All men.
All men.
Okay.
So every woman at this table, with the exception of you, but I think.
And that's a good point. All men. Young, old, sickly, gay, straight, bi, men who are married, engaged, coupled up, whatever. There's all men across the board. 10%.
I think you skew down middle class. But what you say is upper class, but you call it middle class. You're all wanting men, at least in the top 10%. All things being equal, what do you think the kind of man you would want from a woman?
What an upper class man would want from a woman. Like myself, he would want her to be able to have some sort of earning.
Some sort of what?
Potential.
Earning?
Earning.
You know, that's one of the main issues that I've noticed. It's not equal. It's never equal. Men almost always get the short end of the stick. All the time. Men have to always put out more. That's nothing new.
Financially, because,
Okay.
we're talking about his financial status, so they usually say, hey, I don't want a liability and some kids, like you and some kids, So they want to see a woman that can, has the ability to contribute something, if not 50%, some of it.
Okay, so he would want you to make some money.
Yeah.
What else?
Looks.
What do you think? When it comes down to looks, what do you mean?
Just being attractive, not to just him.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Men like to show off their women.
Okay.
So if he's a man of upper class and not just financially, an upper class man, he carries himself, highly.
Okay.
Thinks of himself highly. He wants to have someone who
Anything
thinks of
else?
himself highly. Skill in the house. They want to be catered to.
And just know, you say skills, but much of that is pretty standard. You should be doing that anyway. And there's nothing really unique about that.
Sexual preference.
What do you think?
In the room, in the bedroom.
What do you think? The kind of man you want, what do you think he wants from a woman?
I think that he would want someone who is kind, loyal.
That's a sick-ass penthouse. You can see everything. Look at that. Damn. I wish I could live like that.
Someone who's attractive. Someone who has something going for themselves, whether that's working for a good company or being an entrepreneur or going to school, just doing
Why entrepreneur? Why?
something. Someone who also knows how to present themselves to the public, because you're a reflection of him.
What do you think?
The kind of man that I would want, what he would want, someone who's independent, willful, ambitious.
I don't get that. Why do women keep saying that they're independent? You're a whole adult. You're a whole adult. Why should you be praised for being able to take care of yourself and pay your own bills? I just don't get it. Congratulations. Does a fish need praise to swim in fish? And come on now, what are we doing here?
Charismatic, introverted, and I would have to say, I don't think I would want a guy that actually cared about looks at all.
Care about looks?
Yeah, that cares about looks.
Okay.
I don't always look like this.
What would you think the kind of man you would want from a woman?
I think the kind of man would want from a woman like me, like a genuine partner, like a solid partner, not just somebody that's just.
Oh wait, so in the reflection in the back, I just noticed someone come out of this room right here. You guys see this? I wonder who the hell that is.
There, that makes sense with what he's got going on. Like 2 to 2 make it 4.
What are some things though?
having a good girl, like a good foundation, um, good family ideals, good work ethic, great personality, um, genuine, just kind of true to who you are.
Okay. Would you be surprised if I told you, all of you ladies, just describe the man? The characteristics you're talking about, you describe men.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But you described what the kind of woman the man would want, and you described the woman as a man. Ambition, earning, entrepreneur.
Are women not supposed to have those traits?
Okay. The kind of men that, the number one thing.
We're not supposed to have ambition and dreams. Yeah, you can have dreams, but they're not in the forefront of what a man is doing. You know, remember, a man has to go out there and make something of himself. He doesn't do that to then just come home and be on your program and conform to whatever lifestyle you envision. Come on now. What are we doing here, people?
Men of value want from a woman is cooperation. Number two is femininity. There's a hierarchy in relationships. These men, when asked what they want from a woman, they want a woman who is happy and comfortable with playing her role because it's important. But
you asked
what the kind of, what the,
we would want. Yeah,
okay. The kind of, I asked you, what the kind of man you would want in a woman? Okay. But you described a woman as with masculine traits, and this is what tends to happen. Women tend to look at, you look at, this called attraction symmetry. Women tend to look at men and think that they would be attracted to what I find attractive.
And that's a big problem. That's a good point that Kevin made. Ladies, we're not you. We have our own interests. We have our own successes. We're not looking to conform and be in your shadow. That's not how men operate.
If this is the case, then why do we find, especially in the Black community, the more educated a woman is, the more single she is?
Major point. Especially here in my area. There's engineers and attorneys, and they're all for the manifestation madness. They think it's just not their time yet, but eventually it'll happen. Eventually the guy of their dreams will just swoop in from the heavens and be anything and everything they could ever ask for, right? And he's just the world's most perfect guy, and he's just gonna come and swoop them off their feet. Perfect all the way around. And I swear, they say it's just not their time yet, but it'll happen one day. Now, keep in mind, this means that they're not doing nothing in a process. They think that one day it'll just happen. It'll just happen. It's crazy. It blows my mind. I don't know why this is happening in the 21st century.
Why is it that we find across all groups, the more a woman earns, the more single she is? If men want entrepreneur, go-getter, boss chicks.
Major point. A lot of women that make a lot of money, 6 figures, 100 grand, 150 grand, they're not going to really be interested in a man that makes less than them. And if somehow they do accept this man, they're going to treat him like shit.
Intimidation.
It's not intimidation. That's basically, that's making what men want a negative. Men just don't want it. It's not a negative. They just don't want it.
Are you saying it's masculine to be so educated?
Well, it's not a matter of being educated. Women have often gone to college to find a husband, to be educated. It's not a matter of education. It's a matter of what men want. Men don't want partners. They want wives.
Wives. And that's a good point that Kevin made. We're seeing a lot of women, specifically black women, they go to school to prove that they don't need a man. Whereas other races of women, they go to school to find a man. And when things get hot for a black woman, they run right back to school. It's like you all read from the same book. I just don't understand. You all read from the same playbook. It's crazy. Or I should say, most of you.
They don't want, because you said something about skill and earning and all this other stuff, right? But then 10 minutes before that, you don't want to have to be responsible for anything financially, really. So today, many women are going to school to get degrees, putting on all this debt and everything else, which is fine to live a single life. But then when a man comes, all of a sudden it's supposed to change and he's supposed to want this. And this is what we're starting to hear so many women today talk about. The dating market sucks. Why can't I find a good man out here? What these men are looking for? And when men start saying what they want, you start hearing that it's, what'd you say, intimidation. No, it's not intimidation.
Nah, it's not intimidation. Men just don't want to be bothered with you. What man want to put up with that? That's crazy.
They just don't want it. Not the way you guys think they do. Is that surprising?
No.
The difference between possibility and probability is going to be really important in our conversation tonight as we talk. And also the ability to accept facts, figures, statistics, data.
Oh, they don't like that. They don't like that because their feelings and emotions trump facts, data, statistics, logic. But I always say, at the end of all of the craziness, at the end of all of the madness, the objective truth is always true no matter what. No matter what, the objective truth is always the truth.
Yeah, because often, it tends to become problematic because we start getting into numbers and things like that. So do you think a woman should tailor her life?
The ones that get me are when you try to explain something to them, they say, well, not all men. Well, yeah, he's not referring to all men. He's referring to the majority of men in a general sense.
Life around the needs of the man she needs.
Of the man that she needs.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, you said no. Why not?
I grew up different, so I don't think so. I think a woman should tailor her life around her needs and what she wants. It should never be about the man or needing a man.
Okay, so you don't need. Hold on. So you don't need men.
For example,
Oh,
you
gosh.
keep asking about what percentage do you want to take care of in your family. So, and how you explained it, if that person were to leave, you're left with all of it, and if you can't hold that up, now you're in debt. You know what I'm saying? So a woman should tailor herself around taking care of herself, making sure she can support herself. Like she said at first, 100%.
Okay.
She can take care of everything.
Well, okay, but you mentioned not needing a man though. I want to challenge that. 74% of black women in this country earn less than $50,000 a year. 9% earn over $75,000. Unless you're going to earn what two people make, you need a man. Because once you hit retirement age, after you've exhausted whatever you've saved, there is no Social Security, there is no safety net. What happens to anybody who can't pay their bills? Once you run out of money, what happens?
You go broke, you go homeless. You have to rely on government assistance or you'll be on the streets. Noticing all of these encampments and tent cities popping up all over the place.
Welfare rolls are limited. So if you were 60, I could pull up stats right now, but if you were, like you said, you don't need a man and you just work and you have a good job, 50 grand is not anything to sneeze at.
Your expectancy of what my job would be, like why I don't want a man, why I said.
Well, my thing is, are you going to have enough to pay for yourself regardless? Okay, so $2.4 million is what you will need to retire on by age 65.
And probably by the time she turns 65, she's probably going to need a lot more than 2.5 million. I'm hoping that's also adjusting for 3 to 5%, if not a little bit more, for inflation on a yearly basis.
2.4 million cash, not in stocks, not in investments, cash. You'll have that.
I will have more than 100%.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, as long as you know you're going to have that. But I talk to women every day who are earning more than a lot of women, but they're far away from that. So this notion of not needing a man, we need each other. And that's what's starting to happen today. The homeless population of women is popping up. Women and children are the largest group of homeless because this whole notion that we don't need one another. All right, that's fine. You can do what you want to, but at some point, these countries aren't set up for individual middle-income workers to retire in luxury, to retire and live. They're just not. So why am I saying all that? Because there's a difference between, when I asked you all where you want to be at 50 years old, and I said the clock is ticking. In order to have the security and stability you want, it requires thinking today and planning. Where were any of you guys taught any of that?
I get taught, by the way, my dad is military, very knowledgeable and stuff, so I've learned at a young age, and he teaches
Yeah, she's okay.
me as.
I come from military on both sides. The military doesn't teach that.
No, it's, you know what the military does teach you though? A lot of work ethics.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of, like, you know, how you handle yourself and things like that. And then my father's
Wow,
also,
look at those nails. Holy shit, look at her nails. Jeez. Oh my gosh, look at that. Ooh, I bet she's single.
the military.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to finances, and I grew up with him, I learned with him as well. So
Goddamn raptor claws. Goddamn. Jurassic World.
Work ethic is good, but competence in this country gets compensated. And the reality is none of us are taught this stuff, not in school. We're not taught how to date. We're not taught anything. What are we taught about? Taught about dating and relationships.
I'll tell you, women are taught, I wasn't, but I watched it happen. Women are taught at home first. Women are taught to be wives only, or to be just a mother, when before a little girl even knows what anything is. We're not really taught about relationships. We're kind of groomed
Those
to be
raptor
wives,
claws.
to be kind of subservient.
Where were you? Okay, were you raised in this country? Because you're saying women were taught to be wives and mothers. I'm 52. I haven't seen that.
If you pay attention, they are.
No.
A lot of women, because when women get out into the
Okay, no, this is,
relationships,
hold on. No.
What the hell is she
And
talking
I
about?
talk to women every day for the last 2 years.
talk to all of
Okay, that's what we can't do. We can't do that just because you don't like what I'm saying.
them. Well, you don't
Hold
like
on,
what I'm saying,
but the
so I
difference.
Uh-oh, she's getting all emotional. I don't know how we got to this point. This is insane. It's definitely not the men's fault.
You can't, hold on, no, time out.
I'm not a child. I don't feel like I should be able to
Okay.
time out.
I'm talking about for the video. We can't be over talking one another. And whether you liked it or not, I'm going to have to call breaks. I'm going to have to moderate the discussion.
That's fine.
Okay, so it's not about treating you like a child. I don't know you. It's not that serious.
It's not.
But the point I'm ultimately making is 26% of women in a
Just all in her emotions. Jeez. I don't get how women like her operate.
Black community are married. So to say that women are taught to be wives and mothers when most
Manifestation madness.
aren't married doesn't stand up to the facts.
Marriage, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then women are usually groomed as a child to, this is what you do. You find a good man. You gotta do this. Da, 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 da. It's always about finding a good man. Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, you're
Women
supposed
aren't
to.
really, what I was trying to say was that women aren't really, or people, even boys, aren't really taught specifically about dating or relationships. I feel like people
Now she's deflecting because she doesn't want accountability.
are just kind of groomed to, like, and give them the basic, like, find a good man, find
Jeez, look at her nails. Holy shit.
a man with a job, and figure it out. And then the men are like,
They look like
they tell
pencils
the
or
men,
something.
get a job, handle business.
Like different colors, like
type
orange
thing.
and
No one's
green
really
and purple.
taught about relationships. People
The
are
hell
kind
is
of
going
groomed
on?
to just be the basic stereotype
Looks like a pack of Crayola, like pencils or something.
or anything of what they feel like marriage.
So what does work?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Well, we have a track record of what works.
And we have a track record.
Okay, I allowed you to speak uninterrupted for about a minute. Okay, I did. I gave you that respect.
You did. I didn't
Okay.
even listen to you talk too. We have a respect, mutual.
That was really good. I'm gonna stop it right there. That was insane. That was insane. The way she just started getting all into her emotions. None of the data, none of the statistics, none of the relevant information was prevalent to her at all. She just wanted to go off of what she feels like and her emotions. How do you expect any man to be on board with that? Seriously, how would you expect any man to be on board with that? I'm gonna wrap this up. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm gonna be posting more stuff. This was really good. This was really informative. So until the next time, peace.